Hello guys, how you guys doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know it's been a while that we did our market review. Um, I've been let me not say busy, but then I've been learning some skills, doing some improvement on my strategy on my trading. So that's why I've been kind of away for some time now. So I've been all the time I've been away, I've been um working on a new stuff. I started following TechRich, right? I started following TechRich and I've been consuming a lot of his content, trying to, put one or two things um in place in my trading. And for real, I'm just gonna lie. For the past maybe let me say maybe up to 1 month. Yeah, let's say maybe 1 month or 3 weeks or so. There has been a lot of improvements and yeah, I'm just taking my time. I'm not rushing anything. That's why I've not even. Sorry, I'm outside and it's raining. Sorry for the noise. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of work and I'm not just rushing things. I'm just taking my time to see the progress I'm going to be able to make. So for the I don't know exactly when last we did our market review, but then for the longest time that we did our market review, like I said, I've been away. So yeah, we will continue with our market reviews every weekend as usual. And you guys will be getting from me any new thing I happen to learn, any new information I happen to get, any new improvement I happen to make, I'll be sharing with you guys as well. So yeah, let's get to it. So we'll be starting with Nas100. I did not catch any trade on Nas100 this week. I only had a I presume miss trade because the trade did not get my POI. So this was my POI, and yeah, it did not get my POI and started buying up. So as you can see, when I was back testing, I'm really sorry for the noise. Like there is rain and I'm outside, so there is no more time. I just had to do the video. Then I'm so sorry for the noise. So this was the entry that was provided here, right? But the guy did not have the POI, so that was why I not care much to investigate whatever that is happening there at the time. So that was a miss entry. I did not do anything else on Sandra last week. So over the previous week, yeah, ever since I caught this trade on Nash, I don't think I've not traded anything. Ever since I caught this trade, I'm not trading anything on Nash. I just had a couple of missed trades and some of the things I've been observing, right? So yeah. So hopefully from next week, if anything happens to show up, we start um doing something on NAS 100. So same thing with S&P 500. I don't really have anything on them. Just a couple of mysteries here. Same thing that happened on NAS happened on this guy. Just that this was the last POI, right? It did not come to it, and this was the POI he used instead. Something inside there. As you can see, there was a break here, and market just used this other block. Yeah, this other block right there to sell. Let me zoom in. To buy rather. To buy, right? So yeah, that was the trade. That was the trade. The other block I meant was this other block, this guy, right to the end of this guy, and that was the entry. So you don't have to start looking at it that you have missed the trade, that you have missed the trade, and that was that on that. Then yeah, almighty CHF, USD CHF. Over the last weeks. So this was the last trade I not take the trade right, rather this was the last trade I was anticipating um on USD CHF before the whole stopping the review and all that. So this was the last possible loss I could have taken, but then I had two trades on one on USD CHF and the other one on USD JPY. So I took the one of USD JPY and the two of them resulted to loss. So I did not take this one. So I was just looking out, and ever since then, before I started the new stuff I was learning, You get, so all these ones I was just looking and observing what the market was doing. So this was a mystery I missed last week. Very, very crazy. All right. So the whole trade idea was very simple. I don't know if I'm rushing, but yeah, the whole trade idea was simple. Since we had a, I want to meet in 4 hour. So you have been having multiple breaks here, as you can see, and which indicate that we're in an uptrend. So when we got our last break here, which is this guy, so we decided to start looking for buy when markets got to 50% of our fib, right? As you can see, it's also it even got to the 618 on fib level. You get, so I hopped in on the 15 minutes time frame to see if we can get an entry, which we did, but it didn't tag us in, right? It didn't tag us in. It this was the correct order block. I don't know what I did here. This was the correct order block from that guy to this low, right? As you can see, it tapped the order block, but I went for the extreme order block and it didn't just mitigate and give us that beautiful move, right? So looking at USDCHF on the daily time frame, USDCHF was completely bearish, right? And we have been anticipating sales on this guy. You can see it was bearish and it had a break of sorts to the downside, and we are expecting a move to the downside, like we are expecting the drop. So all this move to the upside was just to mitigate something here before dropping, right? And obviously I think it has mitigated something and it was already giving us the reaction. So with that, I was anticipating sales on USDCHF already. So when I got a change of structure here, a change of structure here. Sorry. Yeah, the new stuff I'm learning from tech risk, there is what you call CSD. So that CSD is just a candle in a POY. So important in a POY, you have to get to a POY before you anticipate a CSD, right? So it's just basically a bullish order block formation. So let's take for instance that this guy is is a bearish order block because this is a buy situation. So this was a bearish order block, this last guy, and you have a bullish order block, break and close above it, right? So once you get that break above that close above it, right? That's your CISD. That's your CSD, sorry. That's your CSD. So your entry is now going to be on the, okay, that should be weak. Let's take for instance that was weak. So let's say that was weak there, and yeah, your entry is now going to be at the open of that candle, or yeah, the open of that candle, right? That's where your entry is going to be. And it's going to be something like this, and your stop loss is going to be at the close of the candle. Whatever week it's projected below is where your stop loss is going to be. But mostly this guy is the one that used to have the sweep, but the week is not even a problem. You just have to cover wherever the week stops, right? Whichever candle that has the week, you just have to cover the low. So your entry is supposed to be here, and your stop loss is going to be there. Then you target um whatever level the POY this formation just happened is whatever range, right? So what I mean by what I'm saying is you had a leg like this, right? So here is your POY. So this is the high you are targeting. So whatever high it is that is going to come. So something inside here is the POY. So inside this POY is where you expect this CSD, right? And then you target the highs of this leg. So that's the idea there. So let me remove all of this guy so you understand what I did there. So now we have approached a POY. This was the first POY in mind. As you can see, So this was the first POI in mind, and you can see that the market just tapped into it and gave us a CSD, which is this bullish candle, right? This bullish candle then had a bearish candle close below it. So this is the CSD, and you can see this is the whole POI. And you can see what market did there. The market just came, sorry, tap into it and sold off, right? As you can see, so the target is going to be this, sorry. So the target is going to be the low here. You get. So this is simply how the guy works. All right. So let me delete that guy and also delete this guy. So this was what I was anticipating on that level, and it actually gave it to me. And then when the market tapped into that level, which is into this bearish, into this bullish order block here above. Let me go back to the daily so you understand what I'm saying. Let's remove this guy so you not be confused. So this is the other block we are looking at, right? This guy to that high. So when market tapped into that guy, so what I did was I simply went to the 4 hour, right? I simply went to the 4 hour to wait for confirmation. And as you can see, the 4 hour gave us a. There is another thing I want to show you guys. Another form of CSD. So that CSD is change the state of label. So when you have something like this, a move to the upside, right? And there's going to be a POI, right? All these things are supposed to be happening in a POI. So you have your POI and price taps into this POI and breaks this last low here with a body break. Like the break is going to close with a body. So the break is supposed to be something like this and close with a body, right? That means you have gotten your CSD. And the normal entry criteria is you have to take the entry from this low here to that high, right? To that high, and your entry is going to be here. You cover that high and target whatever level this POI is coming is projecting. You get, yeah. So that's what you have to do. But then for me, the way I've been looking at it, there is always another block at the extreme of this guy. There's always going to be another block. I'm still checking on it. I'm not sure yet, but so far I've been seeing other blocks. So you just for me, you just wait for the other block to come and mitigate, right? Something like this and drop. So your entry is now going to be here. Your stop loss over there, and you target whatever the low is there, right? So let's get back to that guy so you can see for yourself. So as you can see, what happened there, when we got that tap into that POI, when we got the tap into the POI, as you can see, the guy broke this last low with a body, as you can see, and then what do you now see? The normal, the normal entries is here. So this is the last bullish candle before the bearish candle, and you can see the bearish candle closed below it. So this is your other block, and that is your entry. That's your entry, right? So you are going to cover that low, that high, sorry. Or yeah. But we say we cover that week because that's the highest point, as you can see. And where do you target? You target this is supposed to be the main target, but the RR is very low. And since you are in a very good downtrend, so you target this guy, right? Very simple. But then, so you might be asking why, because you can see there was another block I marked before that guy. I think it was a 1 hour order block. Yeah, it was a 1 hour order block, I guess. Yes. That was the 1 hour order block. Let me delete this guy. Delete this guy. So you can see, can you see? So he just tapped it and sold off. And if you still use the same process, you can see that on the 15 minutes, when market tapped that guy, yeah, it was more clear on 5 minutes. So this is what I've been learning. I've been working on to at least get a basic understanding of it and a little bit of mastery, and then we start. So you can see that same process broke this last low with a body break, and you can see came to the POI and sold off. Sorry. So yeah, that was the trade on this guy. But like I said, I was just observing. I was not engaging in anything. I was just marking it out and for testing the stuff I've been learning. Right. So that was that guy. So I'm also anticipating. I'm also anticipating a since we have confirmed to be in a downtrend, we have broken this structure. So I'm anticipating something to that POI and drop, right? Yeah, and drop. So I'm anticipating sales on USD future. So coming to GJ, yeah. So this was the last thing I engaged, but I did not participate in this market. I just marked it out and I was watching. If you look at it very well, you can see that it's the same process, but I think this guy was too high. As you can see, just that this break was not proper, was not a proper break. So that was why this guy has to do all of these things before started moving up. I think okay, sorry, this was news, I guess. So it's like sorry, this Monday or something. But that market was crazy that day. I was just watching, I didn't engage, like I said. But you can see the same process, break with a body, the POI, and started moving up. Are you getting it? So now here was where I observed very closely. Right. So we had a POI here. There was a break of structure. That was a clear break of structure. And since this guy did not break this high, since this swing low did not break this, did not break this high. So this leg, this last low here is still very valid. Okay. Unless the market wants to start selling up. So this was the trade idea, right? This was the trade idea. But then, not to confuse you, if you go to the higher time frame, the guy was looking totally bearish, right? It was looking bearish. So that was why when this break of structure happened, we anticipated a sell from this other block, right? From that other block. From that other block, but it did not give us any reason to sell. That was why we did not sell. But then, yeah, there was a lot of buy opportunity down there, and I caught, like, I did not engage. The one I wanted to engage did not mitigate, right? So as you can see, when market tapped here, when market tapped that POY on the 1 hour time frame, it was already buying, like that's giving us the buy. Sorry, on the 15 minutes time frame, yes. So it already started giving the buy signal on the 15 minutes time frame, as you can see. So we had a break here, but this is very risky because market can. But see where the real thing happened. So this was the other block it negated and broke another structure. Like I told you guys, you can see the swing here. You can see that swing, that last low, right? And broke it and broke to the upside with a close. So you can see the other block here. And you can see why the market started buying a SAP. right? So now, what I did was when I've gotten so since the market has started buying already, and sorry, and yet again the same procedure. It broke a high here with a body, and as you can see, I I took the wrong order block. So this is where the error is coming from. So this was the other block I took. I executed this one, like I placed the order, but did not get. So this was supposed to be the right order block, right? This was supposed to be the right order block to take this guy, and you can see it misgated this guy and started buying up. So my boss tech risk caught the trade, but as you can see, it has met the target, which is, remember, you have a swing to leg here. So yeah, so that was the target. That was the target, right? So it has broken another structure. So we are expecting a retracement to still continue buying to the upside. So that's this on GJ. Then USDCH, sorry, UJ. On UJ, you can see. So this was the last loss I took on UJ. This guy, you can see very well on the 15 minutes. Mm. All these things are work done. Mm. So as you can see, market tapped into this POI, broke, give us a body break, and then decided to do whatever it wanted to do here before considering buying up, right? So that was the last loss, and ever since I've not engaged. They have even sent me an email saying that my account has been inactive for almost 30 days. It's remaining 5 days for them to terminate the account. But the accounts, they are all in profit, right? They are all in profit. So yeah, so let's get to this trade that happened there. Yeah, as you can see, we are totally in a very good uptrend, and using the normal rule from this low to that high. So you can see that the market has tapped into our buy level. So we want to engage, right? So that was how I caught the trade. So 15 minutes has given us the break that we are looking for, right? This was the break. And then that's into this other block and started buying. The same thing happened on the lower time frame. To go and back test it. Let me even show you. As you can see, you won't consider this a break that much, but when he took out the guy and closed above, yeah, okay, yeah. This was the break. Sorry, this was the break, right? So I just used this one to identify the other block. So this was the break, and here was the other block that continued the buy movements, right? Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Not, and you can see it's just bite off nicely. So after that guy, so when he started buying, you can see another POY here. You can see another POY here. Let me show you. Not on the 15 minutes. I think that was another. Yeah, you can see a very nice POY here. This other block, right? And so the same rule applies. I've made I printed a trading plan. So I will share with you guys maybe in our next market review. So as you can see, when you tap to that POY, yeah, when you go to that POY, we go to the 5 minutes, you can see that network don't do this to me now. Yeah. So you can see when you tap into that POY, you can see a break in the body, yeah, a body break, right? And that was the other block. This guy, right? Was the other block. You can also consider this guy as the other block, right? And boom, market bought immediately. All these guys, I didn't engage. I was just observing. So the same thing happened there. I anticipated a pullback when I got this break for uh to be on the safer side, I just take the whole of this guy and see other block. But nothing came back to that. And yeah, so this trade was just a break-even trade, right? I engaged in this one. But it just broke me even. And I don't know what the market is planning on doing. So you are just going to be waiting and see what the market is going to do next. All right. So when we even got when we mitigated this PY, yeah, there was something here, right? The same thing happened, or it's not stop here to continue the buys. So maybe the market has other things in mind, but then we just be observing and waiting to see whatever the market gives us. We now react to it. So BTC, yeah, I've been doing a lot of things on BTC, right? I think over the past, when did I start even? Since March. Over the last 2 weeks, I guess, or three. So the same process, market got into a POY, right? A high time frame POY. Those also got into a high time frame POY. What do we wait for? You can see that break, body break, body break, right? Oh, nice, nice. Okay, you can see the body break, right? And you can see the market just starting to this POY. So I use this one, other block, that other block CISD and cut this guy. And you can see it bought nicely, but then we get to our final target at a time, and I was still figuring some shit out here. I took a loss, but this was not even a trade to consider because this guy was too high. So this guy was too high, and there was no proper break of structure there. So the loss was a loss. I was still learning, and then yeah, I'm even still learning. Let me not be like I'm not a good, but I'm still figuring some shit out. So then this guy, why I missed on this trade was I had the POY, yeah, but the market decided to not mitigate it. Yeah, this was the POY I had. And market not mitigate it, but then I don't even know. I don't even know for some reason. I don't know, but then as you can see, the market further. That's the last side, yeah. Came back to this POY and bought, right? Same process. Now over here, you can see now when the market got into this POY, into that my initial POY, right? And gave us that break that we looked for. And you can see that was the first buy. Give us another break. That was the second buy. Right? This guy took me out on break even. I started moving. Lesson learned. I engaged break even so quick last week, and I don't know why, especially on this trade. And yeah, that was that on that. The same process I think happened there, but this one was just not that value, right? Not that value. So now on BTC you can see the same process is still applied here, but then I'm considering something since there was a break here, but not a body break. So I'm not even looking at it that much, but it's a thing to consider. For me, it's a thing to consider. Then I'm looking at this POY in case we get itself. So we will start selling. But then, like I said, this is a POY. This is a POY, right? So if you get everything we need properly, we engage. So as you can see, I've already marked out a buy position here. So going to the 15 minutes, that way you see it very clearly. You can see that break has happened. So we are waiting for markets to return to back us in and do whatever it wants to do, right? Okay, so that's all on BTC. So I believe you guys gain one or two values from this review. And yeah, next week we see what the market does, and then we come back to it and talk about the trades we engaged in. So, like I said, I've not actually engaged in any serious trade. So from next week, I'll be engaging properly on my prop accounts, right, and my life account. So I'll be engaging properly. So yeah, wait out for next week video, and remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share the video so that much persons can get to enjoy the value you guys are enjoying us as well. Do you get? Yeah, so see you guys next week and have a very successful week ahead of you, right? Have a productive week, have a peaceful week, and yeah, see you guys same time next week.